Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. That takes me way back to the front porch in North Carolina, where my Cherokee grandfather had perfect pitch. And would sing this. And he would smoke his pipe. And no matter what was happening around you or in the world, when he would sing, everything was going to be okay in that moment.
It's a religious song. You come from a very religious family. What does religion mean in your or for your music right now?
Well, I think that I did come from a very religious family, but I also came from a spiritual family as well, and sometimes they're not the same people. I think everybody thinks that they might have a spirituality that is compassionate, but sometimes the missionary zeal that would be with some of the family members would be about converting you or me into what they believed was the way to believe, instead of having respect for your beliefs. I remember when Kurt died, and I was in Germany, in Berlin, and it seemed as if the impact of his death and his passing was felt all over the world. Perhaps because he spoke of things that so many of us from different backgrounds related to. And when he died, it seemed as if that was the day that the music died, for many people. And when we went to Ireland, I had sung the piece I sang in Berlin, which was American Pie, the day the music died, and Teen Spirit together. And I don't know, a few thousand Irish people started singing in perfect pitch. This with me, along with me. And I felt I've never experienced anything quite like that. The devotion, almost a prayer, and out of respect for him and his memory. He had such an impact on so many. You know, when you think about some of the great performers of all time, Freddie has to be one of those. It's almost as if he had a supercharged battery on his heart, and he was able to express his deepest emotions. The fact that he was gay, the fact that so many heterosexual people, tough guys, would go to a Queen concert always just thrilled me, because I do think he broke down a lot of doors to the idea of what a gay person is like, and he really refuted that with taking metal to another level with such deep emotion. I think he lived a very full life and left such a huge impact on all of us. And his music, the fact that people are playing it today, singing it today, relating to it today. I mean, he's become immortal.
When morning comes to Morgantown, the merchants roll their awnings down. The milk trucks make their morning rounds. Morning.
I think studying her work since I was little and loving it, but also having a great passion for some of the heavier male writers that were able to, it seemed, just harness this 220 voltage of passion. I thought there is a way to tell stories and write and combine the two. And she was a great teacher. Her work was a great teacher and still is to me. I remember hearing her for the first time, and I had been told when I would play clubs, bars in Washington, people would bring her name up to me, and I didn't have her records, and in America she didn't have the impact that she had in Europe and in Britain. So I didn't grow up knowing about her work, and it was much later in my late teens, 19 maybe, when I heard her music and recognized, I don't know, a way of communicating that made sense to me, and I thought she was an incredible artist from the first moment I heard her work. When I first heard it, I knew that it had an important story within Night of Hunters, that it needed to be there, but I was distracted by this performance, by this form of it. And instead of allowing myself to roll up my sleeves and begin working with it, the variation of it, I was trapped in what it was. And you can't do a variation if you're trapped. You're just useless. So I thought to myself, no, the Chopin piece, it's not something I know what to do with. And then I was in the tropics and it kept stalking me. It wouldn't let me go, wouldn't let me go. And finally, a voice said to me, you're seeing this completely wrong, and you need to deconstruct it. And you'll find that he is one of the great grandfathers of jazz music if you just get out of the way and look at the language, particularly in the next section that's coming. And that's when I stopped following the music, and I just allowed my hands to move in kind of a instinctive rhythm that didn't have to do with his original construct. But I watched the voicings, the language. And really, it was, my goodness, 50 years before I heard those voicings in jazz that would come later, the combinations. And I thought, I've been stylistically hypnotized, and I have to get out of that. And then the world opened to me, and how brilliant his mind was, and what an original thinker Chopin was.